first things first is be organized, right? Try to be organized. So on result day, after result day, you're going to get a bunch of emails, right? So maybe you did well and you got 4 offers, right? So you're going to get an email maybe from Wits, from UCT, from Stellenbosch, and from UP, and just as an example. And then if you're not in South Africa, these are just South African universities that we talk about, right? So you could be in another country in whichever university. So if you got offers from 4 universities, then have lists, right? So I would say have 4 papers or whatever works best for you, or whatever makes you feel a little bit less chaotic or perplexed. Have 4 lists, right? And say, okay, this university has given me this offer, and have the course at the top, MBCHB, right? And then write the deadline by when they want the offer. So say, okay, this one wants it on the 11th of January. This one for accounting at UP wants it on the 13th of January. This offer from Wits for actual science wants it on the 14th of January, right? So, and you paste it somewhere, because then you know, okay, I have 2 days to make the decision on this offer, right? If I want this, I have 2 days to give an offer on that, on MBCHB. But if I'm going for actual science, you know, I have a bit more time. But you know that your common denominator, the common, like, your maximum time you have to rule out this one that you have 2 days for is 2 days, right? It just gives you a better image, a better view of like how much time you actually have. You can also put in more things in there, like the dates for when you have to move on to campus. Okay, this one requires me to move in there, this one requires me to move in, this one requires me to move in there, this one residence is sorted, this one isn't, this one isn't. You know, just all information that is important to you, that is important for the decision, and that will aid you to make the decision. Then, you know, just have that list, have that organization. The second thing I wrote here is quiet time. And this is gonna sound a bit weird, but have a bit of time by yourself. And I just want to say it's a balance, because it doesn't mean completely isolate yourself from people and their opinions and their advice, but just sit with yourself and ask yourself the difficult questions, right? People are going to be asking you a lot of questions, and it's going to feel like people are rushing you, but most of the time it doesn't come from a bad place. It comes from a place of, we want to help you, just we want you to sense the urgency of this. But just sit by yourself, right, and ask yourself difficult questions. Ask yourself, what is my passion? Ask yourself questions that are important to you. So maybe what's important to you is, what's gonna help me get a job after I study this? You know, like, what is, where, maybe, I don't know, finance is important to you, so you're asking yourself, like, where is the money at? I don't know what's important to you. That's not how I decided, but you know, maybe that's important to you. Maybe you should ask yourself, what do I see myself doing for the next 20 years? And sometimes what you're going to study isn't necessarily what you want to do for the rest of your life, but it could be a launching pad, right? So it's gonna sound a bit weird, but sometimes what you're studying is merely a trampoline. It's like, yeah, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life, but wherever I go, I feel like this will give me the best aid. So maybe I don't want to study, or maybe I don't want to be in corporate for the rest of my life, but BCom will help me when I want to start those businesses as an entrepreneur. Like, you know, that kind of thing. But okay, but that was a complete tangent. But ask yourself the hard questions, you know. I don't know what other difficult questions that you can ask, but in this quiet time, just be on your own and ask, truly, like, be honest with yourself. Where do I want to go? What do I want to study? But like, where do I want to go in my life? Like, what's the dream? What's the vision? Before these results came in, what did I want to do? Has that changed? You know, and just, yeah, like, spend your time doing that. If you're religious, pray, like, ask, like, what actually is going on here, you know. But yeah, just spend your time asking yourself the hard questions. And then so the first is organization, the second one is have a bit of quiet time with yourself, and the third thing that I wrote is a few voices. Now you may get bombarded with a whole bunch of people, that relative from who, where is asking you questions, and you're like, dude, come on now. Or someone you hardly talk to is, you know, just everyone has an input, it feels like that. But recognize the voices who you truly value. Maybe it's your mother, maybe it's your father, maybe it's an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, a brother, a sister, a really good friend, and sit and like maybe they have an input, or you could ask them like, what do you think about this? You know, this is what I'm thinking of doing. May I just clarify that the final decision is yours to make. It really is. It's your final decision, right? But it always helps to have people say, you know, maybe this, maybe that. When I see you, I see this. You know, I just this, because these people have, typically when you're talking to older people, your mother or your father or relatives, aunts and uncles, they have work experience, so, and they've done their research, so they can be like, actually this field is not that great, this field it is super cool. But yeah, you don't have to take every voice in, you don't have to listen to every voice, but do what works for you, do what you feel is best for you. And then yeah, so that's the third thing, is have a few voices. You will not listen to everyone, because they are contradicting and clashing opinions and pieces of advice, but do what works for you in the path that you want to take.